if the name of the worker is Logan McNeil. Okay, I want to use a combination of calculations in a way. Right, that my output is L. McNeil. Okay. S. Morgan. Or not, L. McNeil, let's say LMCNSM. O. R. Okay, what can we do to achieve this? What is the logic? What do you think is the logic that is happening here? The first alphabet of the first name and first character of the first name. And what else do we have here? 3 characters of the last name. First 3 characters, right? Yeah, first 3 characters of the last name. And then what? What have we done here? We have added or combined them together, right, so we have concatenated. Concatenate, concatenated 1 and 2. So first we will do the first character. Then we will do the first 3 characters. Then we will concatenate them. Anything else that may have been done lowercase? Yeah, it will be applied to all the names because after we create the calculation for all the names that we tested with. Yes, it will be applied for everybody. So you see 4 different steps have to happen for me to convert this type of output into something like this. Right, but do I need to do any programming in some advanced programming languages like Python or R or maybe Java, etc.? You can put everything in one single line. Right, you can say, okay, substring. And then you can use first name, maybe 1, 1, and then a comma substring, last name, right? And then you can write something like this, right, and then a 1, 3. And then you combine that together, right? You write a concatenation, right? And on top of that, maybe you write a lowercase right. This is how a typical programmer will write it, okay? Now it doesn't make sense, right? For most of us, I mean especially for me as well, it doesn't make sense. Like okay, how do we know? Or what is the syntax? What is the syntax? How do I remember all of this? Very difficult, right? So in Workday? No, we don't need to do it like that. We don't need to do it like that. So we just have to identify that. Okay, this is my starting point. This is where I need to be. So I have to break it down into smaller steps. And for each of those steps I will identify some functions, right? I'll identify some functions, so now tell me what is the function that we will use for step 1. Text. Which text? Which function? You have your functions on your screen, right? So look at these functions. Substring. Yes. Right. Substring might do the trick. What is substring? Does everyone understand what is a substring? No. No, okay. Substring, meaning that you can read a part of the string from a long string. Like, let's say, you have this string which says, I mean, you remember text type of fields that we were talking about when we did our reports. We had text fields, right? So text fields like, let's say, your name is Mohan Kumar. This is the entire string, right? And similarly we can have someone as Srinivas Pallavi, right? So are the names. These are both our names, right? Are they of the same length? Are the length of the names the same? No. No, right. But still, we are looking to get something like this. So what we realized is that we have to undergo a logic. And what is the logic? We are going to take the first character of the first name and then 3 characters of the last name. So we are not going to read the entire string, right? We are not going to read entire the name Mohan, we are only going to take the initials, the first character. So first character of the first name, right? So that is M for Mohan and S for Srinivas, correct? So the type of operation where we read only a part of the string is called a substring, right? We are only reading a part of the string. We are not reading the entire string. The entire string would be Mohan. This is the first name, but we are not reading the full thing. We are doing only a sub or a part of it. That's why we are saying the first character of the first name, so it is a substring. So we are reading only part of it. So here we are doing the first character of the first name. What about the second one? Which function should we use? Substring. Again a substring, right? Again a substring. So this is again a substring. Alright, what about the third one? Concatenate text. Concatenate text, right? Concatenate text. And then, what about the last one? Format text. Format text. Although from the name it is not very obvious. But yes, you are right. It is the format text field that we are going to use. Okay, so what are we doing here? We are using a combination of different calculations to come up with the end result. Alright, so some programmers. If you have a programming background, you might find it a bit different. Or maybe you would say, hey, maybe have the ability to at least write some programming language. But the answer is no, okay. Because the calculated fields are designed for everybody. It is designed for people with programming experience, even people without programming experience, okay. So that is why we are not going to write any piece of code whenever we are doing calculations or calculated fields. So here are the different calculated fields that we have. They can be of 2 broad categories. One is the category of calculated fields, which will return a fixed format of output. Format, meaning either it will be number or text or organization or data boolean. So those are the ones right here at the top. These functions will return a fixed format output. And when you do an arithmetic calculation, it will always return a number. If you do a concatenate text, it will always return. The result will always be a text field, correct? But there are some functions which can be configured to return any of the above types or any of the above formats, right? So those are the ones at the bottom of your screen, okay? So those are the ones which let me highlight them. So these are the ones that can return any type of output. Okay. So when we create those calculations, we have to define, okay, what will be my output type? Am I looking for a Boolean? So yes, an evaluate expression field can be configured to return a Boolean, okay. Let's say, I want a number. So evaluate expression can be used to return a number. So these functions, the one that are at the gray at the bottom of your screen, they can return any of the above formats. They are not restricted to any specific output format type. That makes it very powerful and very flexible, right? So we will see. So over the next 2 or 3 sessions, we will look at the different calculated fields, what they can do and how we use them and how we test them out. Okay.